black and white society. And colored, and Indian, and Asian, and Hispanic, and Portuguese, and okay. We live in a pretty diverse society. And with this diversity that we have, a lot of benefits can come out of it. For example, just because I'm not Japanese, that isn't going to stop me from eating buckets of ramen today. And that's just the base of this beautiful society that we have. However, since we are such a society, there are a few problems that come with it. Prejudices and stereotypes that a certain race has can be very demeaning and inaccurate. For example, a typical black man in South Africa is a loud, cheerful old bloke who is the master of many tongues. Well, I hate to break it to you, society, I do not fit into that category at all. Actually, I am the complete opposite. I am a young boy, rather quiet, very sober, and I am an amateur at one. So basically, at the end of the day, I do not speak any native African language. Language has been a very difficult challenge for me for my entire life, and it still plagues me, just like an annoying mother prattling on about her new shoes to a baby boy. But with this, I've learned a few things that have shaped the way that I see society. Let me explain. But just hold up a minute. Before I explain, I need to shed some light on something. We live in a country that has risen up from the shackles of apartheid. Yet, we still discriminate against each other in ways that are rather odd and weird. Regardless of what you may think, you are a person who is responsible for this crime. So what is it, you may ask? Well, I am Mohapi Matle, a monolingual English speaker, and I believe that English is the greatest language in this entire country. Gotcha, right? Linguism and linguistic imperialism. No, I'm not just throwing random words around so that I can look smart. These words have exceptional preference in our society today. Let's start with linguism. Linguism is known as the bias or discrimination against a person or people because of the language that they speak or their abilities in a certain language. Maybe you haven't been affected by this, but it's honestly a thriving situation that's taking place in our country. Linguism has the ability to manifest itself beyond just discriminating against people. It can also bring fear and disgust to people. This is known as xenoglossophobia. And even in our multilingual society that we have, many people face this sort of feeling when they're tackling an entirely new language. To the extent that Trevor Noah, in one of his comedy shows, shared a story about his encounter with an Afrikaans man. As a colored person, we would assume that he knows how to speak Afrikaans. So, in his encounter with the Afrikaans man, in order to clarify his language preference, he said the following: "Ek kan nie Afrikaans praat," which means I can't speak Afrikaans in Afrikaans. Now, obviously, if you were told by someone that they couldn't speak your language in your language, you would be baffled too, just the same way that the Afrikaans man was. So, but why did Trevor Noah do this? You'd be surprised. The answer isn't as clear as you think. Linguistic imperialism. This is the phenomenon where people feel that they have a greater form of power over someone because of a certain language that they speak. Many people in South Africa view English as being a higher language because of the academic preferences in universities. And thus, many people are judged and discriminated against because they speak English and are sometimes labeled as coconuts and bougie. However, there's another side to this coin. People can be so dominating that they end up bringing people down because they speak a different language. Thus, the oppressed people have to try and perform in order to fit in. An example of such a situation is when people of different races have to try and fit into people that they want to fit in the same race. How? But now there's another thing that takes place. A meme surfaced recently in South Africa. This meme is known as hashtag Woolworths Water Challenge. So this is where I'm a black person, yeah, I'm a strong accent, yeah, they will drink the Woolworths water, yeah, and then, like Thanos, oh my god, accent disappears and then for some reason you acquire the power of a preppy high school boy, yeah. The discrimination of people because of the language they speak is a very real phenomenon that not only occurs in South Africa, but worldwide. Many people suffer from this hidden form of discrimination, yet people decide to brush it off. However, there's a certain thing that South Africans have that make them rise above this form of discrimination. And honestly, it applies to everything in our lives. So, do you want to know what it is? Well, everything in our world is a joke.